Now, can you tell where your turbo would be at, like on a compressor map based on whatever you're running, based on boost?
You can. You can if you want to assume that your compressor inlet pressure is ambient.
Okay.
Okay. Then you would say I'm going to run 30. Say I'm going to run. Say I'm going to run 14 pounds of boost.
Okay.
Okay. So and let's just assume. Let's say I'm going to run 15 pounds of boost, and let's consider ambient to be also 15 pounds. 14.7,
right.
14.5, depends on your altitude. But let's just say ambient's 15 PSI.
Okay.
And we're going to run 15 PSI of boost. Okay. So what I'm going to do to get the pressure ratio is I'm going to consider the ratio of the absolute outlet pressure to the absolute inlet pressure. So what would that be in this case? The absolute outlet pressure would be 30. Because the outlet pressure has the 15 pounds of boost that I made, but it also is pumping the 15 pounds of boost into a room that already has 15 pounds of ambient pressure in it.
Okay.
So the absolute pressure of the compressor outlet is 30 PSI.
Right.
And now if I'm going to go check the pressure at the inlet of the turbo, I don't even have a pipe on it. I'm just sucking in the air from this room. I'm going to assume it's at ambient.
Right.
Well, we already stated the ambient was going to be 15 pounds. So I'm going to take the 30, I'm going to divide it by the 15, and what am I going to get? A pressure ratio of 2.
Right.
So I'm going to go, now I'm operating on this line that says PR2 on the compressor map, okay? And if I'm making 300 horsepower, okay, like I just dynoed it, or I just realized my car weighs 3,000 pounds and it just ran X mile an hour at the track, and I do a little calculation and it's gonna tell me I'm making 300 horsepower. Now I'm gonna go on the X-axis and I'm gonna look for about where 30 pound a minute is.
Right.
Okay, because with a pound a minute of airflow, generally speaking, on a modern engine, you can make about 10 wheel horsepower. Really rough approximation. Okay,
so you times it by 10 basically.
So you times it by 10 basically. So if you make 300 horsepower, you go to the 30 pound a minute part on the X-axis. Now you're going to find out where do those two lines cross.
Right.
The 2-to-1 pressure ratio and the 30 pounds a minute. Where does that cross? Well, that's about where I'm at. And if you had a tack on your turbocharger and you made note of the number of the RPM of the turbocharger, when you look at the map, you should see a speed line that is somewhere near your operating point, and the number that was on your turbo tack should be really close to either the number that's just above or just below your operating point. You should, if your operating point's not on a line, and it won't be, it's between two lines, you'll see that your speed, your shaft speed, is between those two RPM lines. The RPM lines are the curvy lines.
Right.
And then there's islandy lines in the middle, and that just tells you what your compressor efficiency is. That means for, like, if I put in 100 units of work, I will get 77 units of work back out of it on the compression side.
Got you. Okay, so you basically just broke down how you how you would determine what turbo you need for your setup.
That is level 1 analysis of what a compressor map does, and how do you figure out where you're at and where you're operating at, and what does a compressor map mean to you.